A few days ago, my wife told me that you can tell when someone is reading a script versus when someone is a little more natural. And I totally agreed with her because I know for me personally, you can tell when I'm reading a script and when I'm winging it. For example, right now, I'm winging it, and I hope that you can tell. Um, Earlier this year, I went to speak to a college class about what I do for work, and um, in previous years, I kind of had a slideshow to follow along with, but the last couple of occasions, maybe three or four, I decided, you know what, it's not worth bringing a whole bunch of visual material and planning some big thing. So what I've been doing was just winging it. I know exactly what it is I do in my job. So in my head, I had a plan on what to talk about, and yeah, I I practice things in my head, I guess, and this comes from my college training in radio broadcasting, where uh, in the studio we'd have point form notes of what we wanted to talk about instead of reading off a script. And I think that's like the best thing that I've done. I know people do Toastmasters as a way to get better with public speaking, but I think that my radio broadcasting experience, even though I don't go on the air anymore beyond podcasts, has really helped in terms of making me feel comfortable with just winging it. I mean, I still have a bit of a stutter with how I'm speaking, and I probably could work to eliminate that or at least reduce it. I mean, a baseball player like George Springer has a stutter, and you can't even tell, except for a few times when you can just hear it a little bit. But yeah, I had this in my head, sort of planned out to talk about right off the top, and yeah, so that's how my process works. Is like I kind of just keep things in my head and try to remember them. And I also just remembered I didn't mention that this is week 32 of 2025. So I'm covering from Monday, August 4th, which was a holiday Monday here in Canada, and not all across Canada. I think it's a provincial thing. I think most provinces do observe the holiday, but it's one of those weird ones where um, most stores are not closed. Everything's open. So it's a holiday for people who work like 9 to 5 jobs, but for people who do retail, it's not a holiday for them. But I think they get paid time and a half. So at least they are fairly compensated for working on a holiday, because it is kind of too bad that they don't get the day off. But in Ottawa, anyways, there is a zone around the downtown area where on holidays, except for Easter for some reason, I don't know why it's Easter. Maybe because it's a religious holiday. I don't know why we're worried about religion in 2025. But anyways, the downtown mall is open on all the holidays, and there's also an outdoor outlet mall that is also open on holidays. So not everywhere is closed on every holiday, but um, the the Monday August long weekend is not one where most stores are closed. So it was kind of nice to have a relaxing weekend and then not worrying about getting groceries and whatnot until the Monday. That was pretty nice. And because nothing was closed, all the produce and stuff we got was pretty fresh. So that was nice. I have to go and get some groceries today. I really don't want to. There's a lot of things that I have to do and that I want to do, and I don't really want to force myself to go out and do them. Like laundry, for example, I should do laundry today. It's normally the laundry day on Sunday, but I realized, I don't want to force myself to do things if I don't feel like doing them today. Like it's a sign that my brain and body are telling me that I really just want to relax and take some time for myself, which I don't do very often. I have a lot in these past few weekends because my wife has been away for travel, but I don't know. It feels like maybe I haven't gotten enough relaxation time, and I just need to take a break from everything and just do the absolute necessary stuff, like I mentioned, grocery shopping, and leave it at that. And even grocery shopping, I want to try to limit how much I'm going to do because um, we really don't need all that much stuff because we have some really early softball games this week, which is a contrast to last week where we had all late games. So we needed to have things like dinner provided or ready to go. But because our games are super early this week, we just don't have the time to have a proper dinner. Plus, you don't want to eat a big dinner and then go play softball right away, especially since we're in the middle of another heat warning event or a heat advisory, which I think is supposed to last until Wednesday night. And we play softball Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's not any kind of fun. But yeah, I that's next week though. That's week 33. I am supposed to be talking about the week that was. And yeah, I had started mentioning that, my wife was away this weekend. She's not coming back until tomorrow, Monday. And so I was looking forward to Thursday night through Sunday evening. Not in the sense that, yay, my wife is gone. I have all the time to myself. But in the sense of there's a few things that I don't choose to do when my wife is here, and it is kind of nice to have the time to do all that stuff without worrying about you know well, I guess sometimes I feel like I have all these hobbies but my wife doesn't have as many, so it does make me feel a little bad that to work on this stuff while she's here. Plus, because she's traveling so much, we do want to spend more time together rather than apart. But anyway, I had all these plans for this weekend for things to do. I'm planning on making a notebook or a few notebooks for her. I've been looking online, watching videos for notebook binding, and I'm slowly getting better at the process. And they're looking pretty good. I've made myself some kind of nice notebooks, and I'm using a few of them, but I'm still not great at the entire process. But the next notebook I'm going to do, or the last one I'm going to do today, at least I think this is the last one I'm going to do today, is going to be, I think it's my final test notebook that I'm going to do. And what I'm trying to do is, well, the original idea was to use a cardboard backing and wrap it in some nice cardstock. But when I tried, I made a pocket notebook last night with the cardboard backing style, and it didn't work exactly as I intended. It worked well enough, but I should have used something like Mod Podge, whereas I used a glue stick because I didn't have enough Mod Podge, and I didn't realize that when I was at the craft store. So that's something I'm going to get today. But the cardboard I used, what I realized is if you can avoid it, you should not use the piece of cardboard that has the flap because it makes it a lot flimsier. But and also I didn't quite measure everything correctly because I needed to make a spine out of the cardstock. And I thought I measured it correctly and I cut it, but it was not done properly. So the cardstock spine does not look right at all. And I'm not entirely pleased with it. But I mean, it worked out well enough that I'm going to give that one to my friend a few houses down. Not because I think it's really good and worth giving away, but I just thought it was kind of funny looking. I mean, I used some spare wrapping paper we have that says happy birthday all over it. And his birthday was back in May. So yeah, that is something that I'm just going to do as a little bit of a joke. Plus, it's blank pages. It's a pocket notebook. Doesn't hurt. But today I'm going to make a test notebook, and I'm going to bind it with embroidery thread this time. last night, because it was a pocket size notebook, I just used staples. And I think the embroidery thread is what I want to use for my wife's nice notebooks that I'm going to gift to her. But I'm going to try it with just the regular cardstock this time around. And if it turns out pretty good, then I think I'm going to include that in the package of notebooks that I intend to make for my wife. I'm just gonna use blank paper instead of printing out. I want to print out lined paper, but I'm going to save that for the actual notebook. This one's just going to be blank paper, and I want to cut things to size. Like, what I want to do is make an A6 size notebook, which when you unfold it, it becomes B5 sized. And I want to try to make that, but I'm also concerned that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to cut things to size properly anyways. But we'll see. I might, for the sake of simplicity, I think for this test notebook, I'm going to keep just to the half letter size and see what it looks like, because maybe it might turn out that I like it, and I might just stick with that. But I've lost where I'm going with this, to be honest. But yeah, so that's how I'm going to finish out my week, anyways. And other than that, I think there's some TV shows I'm trying to watch, and I have them listed out. And I think there's one cool thing that I want to do that I've been meaning to try for a while, and I've got it open here, so pardon the mouse clicks. But basically, it's going to involve taking a picture and converting it to spectrogram audio, and then saving it as an audio file, recording it to a cassette tape, and then recording that back to the computer, and converting it to the spectrogram and turning it back into an image and see what comes out. So basically, recording a picture to an audio cassette tape, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's not unheard of, because they used to put video games and computer programs on cassette tape, or on magnetic tape, I guess. So yeah, that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time now, and that's something I'm going to do after I'm done here, because I'm recording audio right now. So I've got the audio program all open, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to do next. And lastly, oh yeah, I almost forgot. I made my you probably hear this on the microphone. My dog is, because I'm talking on not the phone, the microphone. Whenever we talk out loud, she gets like all in our face and goes to grab toys and everything. But anyway, I digress. I made a few weekends ago, again while my wife was away, I made a mixtape where I edited down a couple of episodes of the CBC Radio 3 podcast from 20 years ago. I did July 15th, 2005 and July 29th, 2005. I think those are the dates. And I edited them down to half-hour pieces, because I was recording them to a 60-minute Type 2 cassette. And I recorded that, and I thought, this might be fun to put this up for sale. And see if anyone wants to buy a cassette. And I did that finally on Friday, and I had my first sale. And I shipped it out yesterday, and I hope to hear feedback on what it sounds like. But I will drop a link in the show notes if you have a cassette player and are interested in purchasing this mixtape. It's very cheap. I think I set the minimum price to $2, but if you pay $5, I will guarantee that you'll get a Type 2 cassette. And I have a limited quantity for sale, because I only have a limited quantity of Type 2 tapes, so I don't want to sell out. But I think eventually what I'm going to do is, if it doesn't sell in the next few months, I'm going to mark it as sold out, because I would like to use my Type 2 tapes for my own purposes, and they're hard to come by. Type 1 tapes are all over the place. Or if I don't take it down, then I'll just take down the $5 minimum and just record things on Type 1 tapes, which are a dime a dozen, really. You can find Type 1 tapes at most thrift stores, and I think they're easily found online. You can get brand new Type 1 tapes, just nobody is making new Type 2 tapes. So yeah, that's something I'm working on. But I think I've run out of topics. I am going to leave it there. And this is just something I wanted to do today. I've been meaning to record a set of week notes for a long time now, and I just ran out of time or just didn't set time aside. So I decided that after I got out of the shower, this was the first thing I was going to come downstairs and do. And so I've done it, and I'm going to make sure that it's ready to go, and I'm going to release it.